problem A. Let's say I have like 3x to the 4th y squared over 6x to the 7th y. So we're doing exponents still, but we're going to divide. There is some multiplication like the stuff from yesterday's in there too. So you look at like the numbers, then you look at the x's, then you look at the y's. So if I look at the numbers, your job is just to reduce those. So what's 3 over 6 reduced to? 1 over 2. And then for these, you don't have to write this out every time, but I want to like show you what this really means and then explain like why the rule works that way. So x to the 4th is x times x, 4 times. X to the 7th is that thing 7 times. So what happens is 4 of them cancel. So how many are left over? 3 of them, and where are they? On top or bottom? On the bottom. So that's because that's where they were more to start with. So you subtract 7 minus 4 is 3, and then you put those 3 wherever it was bigger to begin. So this will be x to the 3rd, and it'll be on the bottom, because that's where there were more x's, and after you cancel them all out, that's where they're left over. So same thing with the y's. This is really like a regular y to the 1st. So on top I have y times y, is y squared. On the bottom I just have y. So I'm going to subtract 2 minus 1 is 1, so that's essentially canceling this one out. So you have 1 left over, and where is that 1 left over? Top or bottom? Top, because that's where there was more to start. Questions on A there? Number A? Alright, you guys try this one. So simplify that.
Are you okay? What was it? What did you just do?
Stretch.
Oh. I'm sorry, I thought you were like looking at something and you made it fit.
But so what if I was?
You're just looking. That was me.
So 4 tenths you can reduce, you can divide them both by 2, so that's 2 fifths. And then you subtract exponents. So x to the 8th x squared, how many will you have left over? 6, what? How many x's will be left over? 6, because 8 minus 2, and where will they be left? Where will they be? It's on top, because that's where they were more. Now this is a y to the 1, so when you subtract, it's 5 minus 1, so it's y to the 4th, and where are those 4? Be on the bottom. So that's your answer. Questions for A and B? Try number 1. Well, I'll do one with you. What number is really right there? 1. So the numbers out front is really like a negative 1/3. So you just write that. You can't reduce that, right? So you just leave that like it is. And then this one's, I don't know if it's more confusing or easier. But what happens to those x's? You got an x up here and an x down there, and they're the same. So they just go away. And then the y's, you subtract 4 minus 2, so that's 2. And where will those 2 be left over? On top, because that's where it's been. So that would be your answer for number 2. For number 1. How's that for 1? Questions before I go on out? Because there's another ball game coming in a second. So for 2, and then a bunch of these, we get the negative exponents. We started with this yesterday. What I do with these, and what I recommend you do with these, is get rid of all the negative exponents first. I don't want to deal with the negative exponents. I think most people are better off not doing it. So I'm going to take that y to the negative 2nd, and here, I'm going to go rewrite this entire thing. The negative 3, I don't have to change because that's not a negative exponent. The x to the 4th, I don't have to change because that's not a negative exponent. This negative here, I don't have to change because that's not a negative exponent. But these 3 things have negative exponents, so they need to change. What I mean by change is flip to the other side of the fraction. So anything with a negative exponent flips to the other side, top, bottom, whichever way, and then the exponent becomes positive. So this guy goes to the bottom, and I'll have a y squared down there. Negative 2 power on top, positive 2 power on bottom. This guy is going to go up and become y to the positive thing. Get rid of the negative exponent by flipping to the other side of the fraction. This guy will go up and become what? X to the 4th power. It'll be positive when I go up. And then this is like a new problem without negative exponents, so it's easier to look at. Questions on what I did to move them. Negative exponent, you cross the street, you cross the road, you flip to the other side, however you want to phrase that. And then your exponent changes to positive, and then it's just normal, and you can do your normal stuff. Look at the numbers in front. So negative 3 over negative 1 is 3. Because the negatives cancel, right? Then if I look at my x's, so we're kind of bringing back yesterday also, how many x's do I have on top? 8, right? Because when we're multiplying, we add those up. So that's x to the 8. So I've taken care of that. Everything's circled. So now I have the y's left to deal with. We got 3 on top, 2 on the bottom. So after I subtract or cancel, whatever you want to say, there'll be 1 left, right? On top. So that would be your answer. And if you put like a 1 on the bottom, that's totally fine. But you don't have to. That's your choice. Question on that? There's a lot going on there. Multiplication, division, there's negative exponents. Okay, keep going. Number 3, again, I'm going to get rid of negative exponents. I don't know if I need to rewrite the whole thing this time. I think I could just say, okay, that b to the negative first is going to go downstairs and become b to the first. And like, that's fine. I just have a long fraction down there. I don't think I need to rewrite that. You can. Sometimes that's like more trouble than it's worth. And then we look at numbers, and then a's, and then b's. So for my numbers, I've got negative 2/3. That does not reduce, so it just stays the way it is. I've got a to the 4th on top and bottom, so what happens to those? They're just gone. They cancel. Or if you want to look at it like subtracting, 4 minus 4 is 0, so now there's 0 of them left. And then I've got a b and another b on the bottom, so now I actually have b squared on the bottom, right? Because 1 plus 1 is 2. So that would be your answer to number 3. How's that one? All right. Questions on it before I go to? Do one more, and then we'll see where we're at. We'll try it. You guys try it, and then I'll do it. Try to make sure you guys know that. So look at numbers separately, and then x's separately, and then y's. So the numbers are 3 over negative 3, that's negative 1. For my y's, I've got 1 upstairs, 2 downstairs, so when I subtract those, I'll have 1 left over, and it'll be downstairs. So I gotta build a basement, so I can put that there. And then for the x's, I've got 3 on the bottom, 2 on top, so I'll have 1 left after I subtract, and it will also be on the bottom. So you don't need that, you could just have this. That's fine. How many had that one right? Questions on it? Where'd you get this? Why are you doing this? Yeah.
So does it matter if the x and y are related? So
Not at all. So this is also a totally fine answer. Go ahead and try 5, and then I'll go through 5, and then we'll. A lot of things go away. So just looking at the numbers, -2 over -4, I can cancel those negative signs. And then 2 over 4 is 1/2. And then I can move these, but you can also maybe not. I have the same thing on the top and the bottom, so they're going to cancel out. It might be easier to see if you like flip them both and make their exponents positive, because these are going to cancel, but you could have also canceled there. And then don't the b's also cancel? So you just end up with a half. How many had a half? Questions for me? Alright, get to it. Let me know if I can help. Take a picture, turn it in. If you want to check the answers up on my computer, you're always encouraged or welcome to do so.